Well, welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is NRL from the Sidelines. Gentlemen, have you had a good week? How are you today?
No, I've had a shocking week, but let's continue on. Somebody had to say it.
Is there something you'd like to talk about?
It's like it's Tuesday and it's already a really tough week.
Do you need a shoulder to cry on, do you?
I don't know whether you've got big enough shoulders, Steve.
Yeah, okay, but Manly lost, but you know...
Oh, yeah, that too.
We're getting...
No, that was a strategic loss. A strategic loss by Des.
Strategic loss. So what you're saying is Des intentionally made them lose?
I'm saying that if we had to lose, that was one that was okay to lose.
That was the best excuse you could think of.
Yeah, it's the best.
Oh, come on.
Tom, how's your week?
Football's the least of my problems.
Okay. So it looks like tonight's going to be a really exciting show.
Oh, I'm pumped.
Pumped? Okay. Let's get into it.
Yes.
We had round 21 completed, and there were some mighty fine games.
There were some boring games too.
Yeah, yours.
Ooh.
Ooh, shots fired there.
Early.
Say that again,
Early
nice and
shots
loud.
fired.
Say that again, loud again into the microphone, Tom.
Yours.
Oh!
Oh, I can see tonight's going to be a fun show. All
Right.
Let's talk about round 21, and we started out on Thursday night with the Broncos and North Queensland Cowboys, and the Broncos winning it in the last 10 seconds.
It could only get better from there.
It's on the nose, man. That game was shocking.
It was a woeful game.
It was.
The Broncos did not deserve to win that. In fact, nobody deserved to win that game.
Who deserved to win it? Who deserved to lose it less?
They should have lost by default, both of them.
Far out.
Terrible.
Well, I actually wrote some notes for this one.
Oh, good.
And my first notes were it was a bludger of a game.
Oh.
That's the only thing I could come up with. It was a bludger of a game. Drop balls, no direction, sloppy play, niggles between Josh Maguire and Lodge, which actually made it interesting.
Well, something had
between
to.
the two of them, and
And another facial.
And then they both ended up going off at exactly the same time.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
the
interesting.
I think the refs pulled them both.
You reckon?
Yeah. Before one of them went without. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was and it was shocking refereeing. It was just that was a horrible game.
Yep.
It really
Horrible.
was, yeah.
Probably the lowest light was the try that Turpin scored right at the end.
Yeah.
Where hang on, was that which one? Because
lost ball. Didn't the Cowboys lose the ball or something?
Yeah, well there was a forward pass in the play before it that was like only a metre and a half, 2 metres forward that nobody saw.
Yeah.
No, so I was trying to think of the try that was disallowed. But there's you can see it on Facebook. Look it up. There was a try disallowed, and you basically got the ball runner coming through, and the Cowboy player that was impeded is standing in front of him like this.
Yeah.
But 25 seconds ago he ran around someone to get there to stand in front of him, and he was impeded.
Look, it was a shocker. Mosby dropped the ball 4 times.
Yep.
He came back for his first goal. I know.
Oh, what a shocker.
And you know what? They kept putting the ball up to him, and guess what? He kept dropping it. But the worst part about it is the Broncos have a 5'8" in Darius Boyd, who for 80 minutes had one run for 1 metre.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now that's not to say he didn't take the ball, he passed it, all that sort of stuff, but how do you have a 5'8" who does one run for 1 metre?
Yep. And doesn't, you can kind of wear that if, he set up 4 tries and, taken a half step around someone, had, led the team around the park.
Yeah.
But, that was...
And that's the thing, he just disappeared. I mean, it was such a bad game, you wonder where he went missing, because he couldn't direct anything, he didn't direct anything.
Yeah. Oh, it was terrible.
Are we at the point where he's got to be dropped?
Yeah. He needs to retire at the end of this year, honestly.
I think he's got too much coin to retire.
He can't go. They'll find a job for him at
South.
the Broncos.
At the Broncos, yeah.
But same deal though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, look. Medically we have to retire you, but we'll give you a job for 3/4 your money to do.
Excuse me, I know you're talking about Greg Inglis.
Oh, what?
It wasn't 3/4
We didn't
of the
say
money.
We didn't say that.
We didn't say that.
I know.
Well, are you inferring that we're talking about Greg Inglis?
I know you're
because
talking about Greg Inglis.
Oh, really?
Who else have had
Excuse me.
Well,
you know we're talking about Greg Inglis because that's who you did it
Now,
for.
this is the most boring game of the season, and we're spending 10 minutes on it. Can we move
No,
on?
we're actually talking about Greg Inglis now.
No, please, that's just as
All
boring.
right, let's move on to Mount Smarts.
By the way, they paying him. He showed up once.
Well, no,
wants
I mean,
to train.
to
Don't
be
forget
fair,
Greg.
Greg's got some mental health issues,
We're not
and
gonna-
you know, I'm not going to bag him about that.
Good on him, and I'll pay him to turn up once.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm sure you
Okay,
are.
Mount Smart Stadium, where the Warriors 24 beat the Manly Sea Eagles 16.
The absent Sea Eagles. They were
What
terrible.
happened?
They were terrible.
Look, you know what? It was Dez's strategic loss.
Oh, just don't give us that rubbish. Just give us some facts.
Yeah, he wants facts.
I don't know. Look, you know, it's. I think it was less that Manly were terrible and more that the Warriors were just.
Their
They
defence was exceptional.
They were dominant for the first 50 minutes. They were amazing.
They had
Like,
50%, 57%
Well, it
of
was
the ball.
18-0
you know.
to about 15 minutes to go.
they would have. I think the Warriors on that first 50, 60 minute form would have beaten just about anyone.
Yeah.
They were exceptional. That's
I mean, the only reason that Manly scored any points at all was because the Warriors had
oh
they played
please.
against 12 men.
And the thing
Please.
is,
Well, they
you,
did.
you won
They
the
did score
penalty
a
count 13-5, had 57% possession,
Oh,
and you
look.
still couldn't win the game.
The Warriors did a Melbourne on us. They slowed down the play of the ball. They tidied up the ruck. They slowed down the ruck and they tidied up the middle of the field. And every time Manly tried to go wide, they were there. So,
Yep.
hats off. I thought they played an exceptional game against us.
And they had 44 missed tackles to your 16. All the stats said you should have won that game.
Yeah, I don't believe the missed tackle stats. So don't even bring that up.
Yeah, I know you said that.
Well, he's allowed to bring it up.
You can bring it up and I'll just poo-poo it. Nah, poo-poo. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was
look,
that-
yeah. Realistically, Des looked and said, "There's no way South's going to beat Melbourne. We don't want to finish fourth. We want a home final at Brookie. So yeah, okay, we can lose as long as
after
South
all this
lose."
posturing last week, you should have seen it. I watched the show 2 days
Oh
ago.
please!
Oh,
I didn't posture.
oh,
Posture.
I know.
Oh, you
Actually,
postured.
so you just act normal. You just act
Yeah, I
normal.
was just myself.
Oh, dear.
Oh, that's funny.
So it was interesting to see the turnaround of the Warriors. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
considering the last few weeks, the performance the last few weeks.
Oh,
It's
I
interesting,
know.
isn't it? Because
Maybe
they're a
We
box
know
of
they've got
chocolates.
it.
I've told you.
Oh yeah.
You know.
We know they've got the potential.
We need more
there.
towel throwing in dressing rooms.
Well, they play the Roosters next
And I
week, so it'll
tell
be
you,
interesting.
the 5'8", young guy.
Oh yeah,
Kieran,
Harris.
Kieran?
No,
Harris.
Harris.
Chanel
Chanel.
Leader Harris.
He's going to develop into quite a good player. I think.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, they won a lot. The Warriors won a few games really early on in the season that they weren't supposed to, or and he was the difference. He's a live wire in attack.
Yep.
I know maybe a little bit defensively off, but my goodness, he's
Yeah, I tell you, he'll give him a couple more years, and I reckon we'll be talking about him as a
Yep.
big dollar signing somewhere.
oh yeah, him and as I said, the other guy, Dylan Brown from Parramatta,
Yeah.
same. They get the ball and it's really like the opposition doesn't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They're just really, really exceptional players with the ball.
I know he's not there yet, but he's almost Ponga-like. You know, you're just waiting for him to do
Well, there's
something.
Ponga there.
Well, yeah.
Let's talk about that when we get to that game.
Yeah.
All right, I've had enough of the Eagles now. We'll talk about them next
Yeah,
week when they win.
Well,
And that'll be an interesting
Yeah.
soundbite for next week. I've had enough of the Eagles.
For now!
well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining our club,
Yeah, we've all had enough of the Eagles.
the We Hate Manly Circle. Yeah, you're
Oh,
welcome.
you
Good to
haters.
see you. Well,
Put
you said
words into
yourself.
my mouth, you two. Words
said
into
yourself.
my mouth.
Oh, geez, I can do a lot with that sound.
Oh, but you won't.
Really?
You won't
Oh,
because
you
I'll
can't.
torture you with it.
Yeah.
Listen, you just wait till when I put this on air, wait till the start of what it says. I'm over Manly. Okay, let's move on to Panthers Stadium where the Penrith Panthers beat Cronulla 26-20.
And you look at the games that they both played last week, and you
Yep.
think it's a no-brainer to pick the Sharks. Honestly.
Well, I must admit, I made a mistake. I picked.
That's another soundbite.
Oh, look, I make mistakes
I
all the
made a
time.
mistake, I'm over Manly.
So I need some help out there, thanks, people. No, I picked. I went to pick the Panthers, and for some reason, as I said, you know, the iTip Footy app. Just a word of advice, because I'm sure they watch us as well. You got to have a copy your tips page. So I'm going, and my big fat finger hit the Sharks instead of the Panthers. So in the comp, I've got one comp where I picked the Panthers. Ugh.
Don't you go back and review what you've just saved?
No.
Obviously not.
Oh, check it. I check it probably just before every game to make sure I've got it right.
No, I checked it about a minute and a half after it started and went, oh no, what have I done? Yeah, good game though. I didn't mind this. I thought the Panthers really stepped up. Cleary was good, was better
In the
than good.
absence of Jimmy Maloney, which is interesting because I think he gets overshadowed by Maloney.
No, he had a good game.
And they had that rookie 5'8" Morton.
Yep,
Yeah,
the
he
young
was
fella.
good too.
He was, and he didn't do anything flash, but he knew where to put the ball at the right times.
But
Yeah.
he seemed to be a bit mature. You know,
Yeah.
he was in the game. There was no, he didn't go missing.
They've
He
got
didn't-
some really good juniors coming through.
Yeah, they have.
Oh, they do. They do.
Blooded To'o, they blooded Naden, Mitch Kenny,
Yep.
Liam Martin this year.
Yep.
They've got some really good young fellas.
I
coming
really
through.
rate Naden. I think Naden's an excellent.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I like Liam Martin, but
Yeah, I like him. He's tough, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Uncompromising.
So,
Yeah.
Sharks.
They
What
disappointed.
happened? Considering you think they just took it easy? Foot off the gas?
They were just disappointing.
I don't think they were quite prepared for the onslaught. For the, there's that youthful enthusiasm that Penrith threw at them,
Yeah.
and they just couldn't run with it.
Yeah.
They just could not run with it. So I don't know. Maybe that's it. I mean, having a look at it, I mean, Andrew Fafita getting injured didn't help, but
And that looks like it's a chronic injury he's going.
Matt Pride, I don't remember
He
Matt
did,
Pride, but
ribs or
yeah.
something like that, I think.
like 7 minutes in, and you've lost one of your starting props, and then you lose Fafita with a ankle, knee injury or whatever it was.
Knee.
That's pretty bad when you lose
And
two
even
props.
before he went off, he looked the shadow of his normal self.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's still struggling with that injury. I know you don't like missed tackles, but look at this. The Panthers had 65 missed tackles and still won the game.
Still won the game.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's
Missed
it. That says something.
Lying stat.
Yes. So yeah, look, I mean, a complete turnaround for both teams.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they had no Matt Moylan, admittedly, so that would have been.
But they had Wade
Why
Brandon.
did they have no Matt Moylan?
Oh yes.
I don't
yes.
He was fine playing the week before. He had no problem at all.
No, he had a
He
problem.
had
He had a problem. He was hitting the head by
He was
someone.
hitting the chin.
Isn't
Which
your
is part
chin
of the
part of
head.
your head?
He was hitting the chin. He was love tapped on the chin, and then honestly played for another 13 minutes. Went off for 10 and came back and finished the game. By the way,
So
Yeah.
there was past unfit not by himself.
well,
Yeah.
excuse me, he could have been hurt any other time through the game.
Yeah.
He did play the rest of the game.
There are after effects of getting hit that can last longer.
Yeah.
Just the game.
Ask Luke Keary.
Correct, but he passed the HIA.
Ask Michael Morgan.
None of those passed the HIA when they
And none of them
when
were
they
hit by Sam
injured.
Burgess. So there
That's
you go.
right.
Yeah.
Just wait, they're coming for you. Okay, let's move on to Netstrata Jubilee Stadium, where the Dragons beat the Gold Coast Titans 40-28.
Big
You know,
deal.
I would like to say the Dragons did well in this, but the Titans still scored 28 points.
I know.
Mm.
That's got to be a
Right.
concern, doesn't it?
Well, the
Yeah.
week before was 58-6, and this time was 40-28. So that's a comparison.
That was neither side can tackle.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That was a pretty terrible game too.
Did you see what I posted through the week about St George can still actually make
mathematically make the eight.
Well, it's not just mathematically. If results go the way that I played it out, and yes, there's got to be some shock losses, but you're right, Tom. We've given you away.
Yeah,
Haven't
yeah.
you?
I'm okay.
Brian, can you nudge him a little bit, please?
Oh,
It's been a tough week.
If
you saw
results
pick on me.
if results go the way I've anticipated they might, am I talking to myself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dragons won't make it.
But they still can,
Yeah.
which means that 24
Sorry.
will be 8.
The way they're playing, they don't deserve.
Hang on. That means the Bulldogs can make it. The only team that can't make it are the Titans.
Well, if yeah, that's right. The Bulldogs.
Right.
can.
Okay. Well, that's not going to happen either. That's it. That's all I've got. They're not going. It won't happen.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for the Dragons. I don't know what they've got to do. They obviously they're letting players go that they should keep, and now they're tapping some players on the shoulder that I thought were very that should be there.
Who are they tapping?
One of the Sims boys, the big one, Ashton
Corbin.
Corbin.
He's only just come. He's only just
Yeah,
come.
he's been tapped. They've got a couple of young props that have only played 1 or 2 games.
And they're losing Reece Robinson to...
Who's Robson?
Reece Robinson
Yeah.
to... Cats.
North Queensland. It's hard work, but it'd be really hard work being a Dragons supporter.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I think there's 3 or 4 clubs that really expect success.
Yeah.
And I think the Dragons are one of those, where their supporters, due to history and, let's face it, they didn't win a comp that long ago, and their roster is solid, that they expect success, and it's just not coming. It's sad.
And again, you asked the question: has the DeBellin thing been a cloud?
You know what? That would have been the reason for a few issues early in the year.
Yeah.
But honestly, the last 3 or 4 months, that shouldn't still be dealing with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
They can't still be dealing with that.
And we finally got this right, that James Graham actually played his 400th career game.
That's because they listened
this
to
week.
us the week before and they modified it.
Sally corrected you,
Yeah,
Sally-
Sally corrected you.
doofus.
Sally,
Knucklehead.
no, I wasn't the only one who
Knucklehead doofus.
made a minor error with that.
So Sally, you can give it to him again.
Yeah, feel free.
Anyway, good on you, James
So-
Graham.
Yeah, 400 games.
Yeah,
Well
fantastic.
deserved.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And very humble about it too.
No, I agree.
And did you hear his speech after the game?
No.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, it was backing out. Is it Jeremy Lattimore that's retiring at the end of the year?
Oh, I can't remember. Yeah.
Talked about his retirement note and how boring it was, and helped him to sleep. Quite funny. Okay, let's go on to Bankwest Stadium, where the Parramatta Eels 20 beat the Newcastle Knights 14. Where have the Newcastle Knights gone?
They, you know what, and this you mentioned Ponga earlier on. You know, he is going to be an exceptional player, but there is so much pressure on, I think, him being the star of the show.
Yeah.
And let's face it, he's 21, and you've got a memory probably as long as I have, Steve, when it comes to football. There's not many 21-year-olds that will win you a premiership. You know, I look back and I think, you know, Brad Fittler at 21 was an exceptional player. Laurie Daly, exceptional player.
Yep.
Kalen Ponga, exceptional player. But while Fittler had that great Penrith team around him, and Daly had that Canberra team around him, they could come in and out of games and learn their game. Kalen Ponga is expected to win games. This is his first full year of... Well, he was injured a bit last year.
Yeah.
But really, this is his first full year at a club without injury. He's 21, and all of the pressure is on him.
Plus, there's been stories in the paper, of course, about $1.5 million, $6 million
He's not
contracts.
worth.
And everybody's and that could also dent his confidence too,
Yeah,
because
without doubt.
he probably knows he's not worth it. But to get all those critics come out and saying, "Sorry, you're a great player and you're going to be a great player, but you're not worth that."
Yeah, but isn't that his
That dents
manager's
your
fault?
confidence.
Yeah.
For even
Very likely.
bringing that up in the
Very likely.
first place.
Yeah, very likely.
Yeah, look, he's gonna be. I think we'll look back and say Kalen Ponga was one of the best players we've ever seen, but I don't think he's there yet, and I think that the Knights rely on him too much.
So, but earlier in the year when Mitchell Pearce was winning man of the match after man of the match,
Yep.
he was playing as well.
Yep.
So the rest of the team seems to have gone missing
Oh, 100%.
for what Ponga needs to do to be able to win a game.
So shoulder charge or not shoulder charge?
Yeah, 100% shoulder charge.
He waited till you made your decision. Then
I know.
The opposite.
Yeah. No, that was a shoulder charge, but
Definitely
you know what?
Shoulder charge.
But because he did not wrap his arms.
No.
Kalen Ponga did not wrap
He
his
launched
arms.
with his shoulder.
In saying that, should he be charged? Absolutely not. That is not the intent that the shoulder charge rule was brought in for.
And we discussed that last week.
Yep.
That is not what it's all about.
Yep.
And if you take it... Okay, look, if you're going to go by the letter of the law, yes, it was a shoulder charge. But is it a chargeable shoulder charge?
No.
Absolutely not.
It should not be, yeah.
Absolutely
100%.
not.
I agree.
So where does that fit in? Was the attacking player likely to score if it hadn't been for the shoulder charge and should have been a penalty try?
Well, I'm surprised they didn't make it a penalty try.
Yeah, but in saying that, those decisions are beyond me. I don't know. I don't understand how they give tries and when they take them away anymore. I just don't get it.
Well, yeah.
And if it's not a penalty try, should he have been binned?
Oh no, you know what? I actually think. See, I think common sense has gone out of it. So, you know, I looked at that and I went, yeah, he's hit him with his shoulder. He didn't wrap his arm. That's got to be a penalty. Not a penalty try, just a straight out penalty. Go, mate, you know what? You've got to wrap your arms. If you're too lazy to wrap your arms.
But he saved the try by doing it. And it's a legal play.
Yeah, you know what? If he'd stuck his arm out, he still would have saved the try.
Not necessarily. He wouldn't have had the same force.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, well...
And that's why you do it, because you don't have the same force as trying to come
Bill
across
Slater
one
did the same
arm.
thing the other
Yeah.
But you know what? It's not what the rule was about. I don't even think it should be a penalty in that circumstance.
Oh, it's got to be a penalty.
No, if it's not what we call a true shoulder charge, why would it even be penalised?
Well, because I thought it was a shoulder charge.
Oh, look,
See, I disagree. I don't think it is.
The thing is, he wasn't charged by the match review. And so therefore it's all null and void. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't know how he wasn't charged, because there's been players this year that have made very similar tackles, and they've got 2 and 3 weeks.
His credibility just went down.
Yeah.
Points.
So I don't quite get the inconsistencies in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do think it was a shoulder charge. I do think it was worth a penalty, but I don't think it was one of those ones where you got to sit on the sidelines for a couple of weeks.
Honestly, I think it's a disgrace to call it a shoulder charge.
Parramatta are still winning ugly
At Bank West.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, it wasn't a wonderful performance by them, but they're doing enough to win. And Mitchell Moses is. I mean, most of his games this year have been exceptionally good.
There was a comparison in today's paper with Mitchell Moses and Cooper Cronk.
Right.
And actually, if you look at that comparison on numbers, Mitchell Moses outplays Cooper Cronk.
Well,
Yeah, look.
you know, I'm not a Cooper Cronk fan. I would take 13 Cooper Cronks over Mitchell Moses any day of the week.
And I'm not saying you wouldn't, but it was just that you have a look at that comparison between the two of them.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to remember
you
too,
would think-
Cooper Cronk is retiring this year. I mean, you know, he's 35 or something, so he's not in his prime.
No.
Whereas Mitchell Moses theoretically is.
Yeah.
No.
I don't care. There's no way. It's not the same.
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm not arguing with it. Let's go on to ANZ Stadium, where the Bulldogs beat the poor Tigers 18-16. Tigers lose Moses and by almost in the first set.
Then they lose
within a
Farah.
few minutes, and then they lose Farah not long after that.
Yeah. And poor old Momirovski,
Oh my
recent
goodness.
Roosters player, scored 2 tries, brilliant hard-working tries,
hard-working tries.
and unfortunately was given the kicking duties. And I really feel for the kid. I really
I'm
do.
surprised Ewan Masters didn't take it.
He must have an injury. He's got to have a leg injury or
Because
something.
he's not a
groin
bad
injury or
kid,
something
quite a
like
good kicker.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
So I can't believe he wouldn't have taken it because of the pressure. So
He must have an injury of some kind. Yeah.
Makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
But the Bulldogs are doing what they do.
yeah,
They're all on the same song sheet.
yeah.
They're just showing up, and they're doing it again and again and again.
Mm.
I remember earlier in the year, Lachlan Lewis got dropped, and I remember that I spoke to a few Canterbury supporters, and they're just scratching their head, going, "How does this guy get dropped?"
Mm.
I brought it up on the show, and I said exactly the same thing. He is a 100% effort player.
Oh, he's fabulous.
Yeah.
You know, he does it, but again, he's just a kid. Well, when I say just a kid, I mean, you know, he's not a seasoned first grader,
Sure.
but he does not stop. It is great that over the last 2 weeks he's been back in
Yeah.
reasonable form.
Yeah.
And obviously, I saw an interview just after he was dropped, and he was saying, there's some deficiencies in my game that the coach wants me to work on. I'm in reserve grade until I work on them.
Yeah.
And
Very mature.
man, what an attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, Lachlan Lewis, well done. I'm glad you were back in first grade. Yes, great effort.
Okay, I want to bring your attention to 3 sin binnings on the weekend, and there were 2 in this game. But I want to
Okay.
go to the first one.
Yep.
The first one was in the Manly Warriors game.
Adam Blair.
Adam Blair.
Mm-hmm.
Sin bin, no sin bin. He ran him off the ball.
Come on, it's Adam Blair.
But
Sin bin him. It's like Sam Burgess. The guy.
You can't do that. You can't say it's him, so let's penalise
You know what?
and no one else.
You know what? I remember Bill Harrigan saying we used to, before he refereed a game, he used to have a cheat sheet on all the players and what they did continually in a game, so that if they did it, he would recognise that as an ongoing habit and penalise them. Adam Blair does things like that all the time. It's not unintentional, it is a deliberate foul act.
Okay, but I also remember someone wanting to drive a cement truck up to Bill Harrigan's place. So, I
would have been happy to sit in the passenger seat at that time.
So, Manly can't talk.
Yeah, we can.
But is it fair to be able to pick on someone because it's them? And say, no, I'm not going to penalise anyone else, but you do it.
No, it's not.
No, they would have been penalised. And I seriously think that, it was the way that it should have went. I think he should have been sin binned.
Okay, so you think that was a fair sin bin? Let's come to the two in this game, in the Dogs Tigers game. Attacking the line, the Tigers. I'm going to try and remember who this was.
It was Chris Smith.
Attacking the line, turns the halfback turns his back slightly.
Yep.
Gets hit in the back. It's a penalty and a sin bin.
It was a pretty innocuous hit, really.
It should have been a penalty.
No, I'm talking about the
sin
first
bin.
one, Tom, not the second one.
Oh, okay. Well,
the second one was Chris Smith.
Luke Garner.
Yeah.
No, that was a bit harsher.
Oh, geez, I don't think there was much in either of them.
There was nothing in either of them. If you look at the second one, it was an even the timeline between passing and getting hit was even.
I can't remember which was the first one, which was the second one.
I can't remember which. I think Christmas was the second.
Christmas was the second one.
That was worse.
No, I don't think. I thought his was more innocuous. But anyway,
okay.
Yeah.
Are we now at the point where you can't go in to tackle a player with the ball because you think they might pass it? I mean, honestly, the timeline, and everybody keeps playing these things slow.
Yeah.
Play it at normal speed. And I tell you what, there is not a lot of difference between when he passes and when he gets hit. Now, in the first one, the problem with it was probably the whiplash, because he did get hit in the back.
Yeah.
I get that, but again, it's not a sin bin offence.
No,
this is football.
I think they're both penalties, but that's it.
I'm sorry.
No. I think if you hit them late, it's the same as
what's late. Is it
after they've passed the ball. Yeah,
because
1 second, 10 seconds, a millisecond.
I tell you what, you tackle someone after they've passed the ball a millisecond, and you'll be penalising 23 times.
No, not simultaneously.
And
after
that player's job is to actually restrict the half anyway.
Correct.
Passing the ball, so you're going to tackle them. It's just how you tackle them, I think, is the thing.
I think we're taking this rule too far.
You get them in the back and you're knocking them onto the ground or their head, then I think that's too much force.
Yeah, see, look, but then the problem is,
if you're wrapping them up, that's a different thing.
It doesn't matter. The problem's still the inconsistency. So those guys, that was like you said, fractions of seconds after the ball's passed, and they get binned. There's other ones where the halfback passes the ball, the next bloke's got it run 3 steps, and then the halfback gets cleaned up, and the ref plays on. I don't get the inconsistency with it.
From what I can see, the challenge is being hit in the back. So if you were to hit someone at the front on, they probably wouldn't have penalised. The fact that they turned, and more so in the first one than the second one. And look, I just think we need to be careful of. Let's say all of a sudden we say, well, okay, you now can't hit them because you think they're going to pass. What if they just dummy and run through?
No, well, I'm happy for a penalty if it's hit late. No, I don't think it should be a sin bin.
I don't think that was late. I don't think either of them were late.
Oh, well, that can be open to interpretation.
So look, it'd be interesting to see what the Dogs would be like if this was round 5 or round 6, because I actually think they really develop as the season went on. Sure, they still don't have the cattle.
Their last 8 or something like that.
He's built a toughness and a real culture and a real camaraderie between that team.
Yeah.
And they are milking everything they can get out of that team, and you got to hand it to them. It's a credit to.
And I do hope they stop
what
saying,
Dean Pay's doing.
Let's get rid of Dean Pay.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's not the answer. I think if Dean Pay was in charge of Melbourne and they were running where the Dogs are, get rid of him.
Yeah.
But that Canterbury side is not where Melbourne is, or the Roosters are, or the Raiders. So I think you've got to be reasonable if you're a Dogs fan and say, you know what, we don't have the big name players, but we're winning games.
It'd be good to analyse the post-Origin stats for a lot of teams, and I think the Dogs would actually come out looking pretty good. Anyway.
Okay, let's talk about the boring Sunday games.
Super Sunday, as it was called.
Yes.
That's gone to GIO Stadium, where the Roosters beat the Raiders 22-18.
Yes, I enjoyed
Good
it.
game. It was a very good game.
Yeah.
Come on, Brian, you have to say it
58%
was a good
possession
game.
to Canberra.
There's a couple of things I want to say.
Then say it.
Okay.
Don't worry about Tom sitting next to you.
Well, I was on the Raiders and I was disappointed. I think that they run teams like the Roosters and even Souths, Melbourne, run from their dummy half out to their halves and 5/8s. I don't think the Raiders do that. All of the attack seems to go from their hooker, and I think that's good teams can shut that down. I think they're really, I like hang on, I've forgotten the halfback now. Caesar.
Yeah.
He's a really good player. I like Aiden Caesar, but I don't think he's getting any clean ball, and it's making him look worse than he is. So I think that was the disappointing thing, and I think the other disappointing thing is coach, the Roosters coach.
Why?
Just coming out and whinging about stealing the ball. I
Which was something that we discussed.
And I get that, and you know what?
guys are okay with it, don't you?
Yeah, I am. But we're three blokes sitting on a couch, and Robbo's on the rules committee. Mate, if you didn't like it,
he hasn't been on the rules committee for years.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. I'm telling you, he is, isn't he?
He's
Sally, let me know if I'm wrong.
He has been on the rules committee for about 3 or 4 years.
Oh, bull.
He hasn't.
Either way, the NRL doesn't just change these rules; they send it out to the clubs. And he waits until, what are we up to, round 21?
They asked him a question.
Before having a complaint.
They asked him a
well,
question.
why doesn't he just shut up and say, mate, that's the rules? Mate, he wants
because
to
he has an opinion about
He
it.
wants to, you know what he does? He wants to influence the referees the next time you guys play.
It did happen a lot. They did steal the ball.
Well, hey, there's this thing called ball security.
Yeah. But I mean, he had a point about the pressure. And look, even Ricky Stewart, in a sideways way, backed up what Trent Robinson said without coming out and saying it, in saying that there's a lot more pressure on the referees when you now got to start to look at the ball, who's got the ball, how many people are holding the ball or holding the player. That's a lot of pressure on the
and they do it well.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
the Raiders do that well, and that's the thing I've been saying for weeks. I don't like about it.
I like it.
Trent Robinson, mate, I said I like it, but Trent Robinson came out and said I don't like it because it slows the game down, and I think he thinks that's bad for the spectacle.
How does it slow the game down? It's a turnover. Defence turns into attack.
Because
because
it's the Roosters
there though, where the ball was stripped. It could have been the Raiders stripped the ball. They ran a few metres, and the Roosters stripped it.
I know.
Yeah,
I liked it.
No.
I like it.
He said stripping's been in the game for a long time.
Yeah.
But he
one's fine, but not this other one.
Yeah.
I don't like this other one.
Yeah.
I like it.
I had a sense though that the Raiders couldn't give any more than what they gave the other night.
Yeah,
I think the Roosters had them contained. I was getting a bit nervous there for a little while.
Yeah, and look,
near the end of the game.
One thing about the Raiders is they can score.
Yeah.
You know, they can score very quickly if you give them a half a
second. But you know the first try they had them contained. They should have wrapped the ball up, and it really was fortuitous that he got the offload and he scored. Yeah. The other one was a messy try in the sense that they already wrapped the guy up again. Didn't secure the ball, and again I thought that was reasonably lucky.
Yeah.
Now we all agree that there was a bit of conjecture about the score, the try that Latrell Mitchell scored. I could go either way with that, to be honest.
I know which way I'm going.
But I thought the Kiri to Tupou try was genius. You know, the pinpoint kick, fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, and look, their defence is back on board. We get a couple of big players back now, so I'm feeling good.
Yep, definitely the Roosters were the better team.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go on to Central Coast Stadium where the Storm beat South Sydney 26-16.
Hey Tom, do you reckon the refs could have given South any more of a leg up than they did?
Listen, actually,
I'd
like to
I'm not
challenge
going
you on that.
Oh, hang on, yeah.
The Roosters at one stage during the game against the Raiders got 6 penalties in a row.
Yeah.
You guys never said anything about that.
Yeah, I did.
No. Not the same as you said about South.
Yeah, because
you're saying the
because
penalties
there's a
gave them
difference
a leg
between
up. You didn't
6 in a
say
row
the
and
leg.
9 in a row.
But there's a difference between when a penalty is deserved and when it's not.
They were all deserved.
Anyway,
Every single one of them.
My
was
goodness.
deserved.
as is typical, Melbourne came out out of the gate. Melbourne came out of the gate out like a bull at a gate.
Yep.
Scored the first 12 points or something like that.
In
Because
12 minutes,
they always want to get ahead because they don't do well coming from behind.
Well,
Agreed.
you wouldn't know because they're rarely ever behind.
Well, that's
No,
right,
I
because-
agree. I agree.
because
I think
if you can get them in the first 20 minutes,
Yeah.
then they get nervous. So you guys were asleep for the first 15 minutes,
yeah,
and then
that
all of a
cost
sudden
you.
you came to get them.
Can I suggest why?
Why what? You
Why
were
we
asleep?
No Sam Burgess.
No Sam Burgess, that's right. But if you have a look at the team that Bennett put on the field to start the game, there was no John Sutton, there was no Thomas Burgess, so there were smaller forwards.
So
Sorry?
Johnson's about had it.
No.
Thomas Burgess drops the ball, and he did.
dropped it
And
once.
he did. It was a
Let
pretty
him,
big one.
Tom.
Let me
Tom,
finish.
let him
What
What I'm
talk. Let
saying
him talk.
is that there was a smaller pack on there to start the game, and when the bigger guys went on, that's when they started taking control. Now, whether that's a good tactic or a bad one, we'll find out because it's done exactly the same for this week's game against the Dogs.
Yep.
So Sutton's on the bench, Tom Burgess is on the bench, so he's starting with Jason Sewer this week, so that'll be interesting.
We have
Oh,
Sam.
there goes my little Surface Pro.
We have Sam.
You have Sam back, yeah.
Okay.
Should have had Sam last week, but he was injured, so. So
No, that was called poetic justice.
No, it wasn't. That
Yes,
was
it
called
was. Yeah.
cruelty.
So look, you've got to be.
Sam plays, we win.
You've got to be encouraged. I mean, you end up with 55% of the ball,
Yep.
and looked a bit threatening in the game,
Well,
but they
for-
just managed to get you at the end.
With-
Oh,
Yeah.
see, I
It
disagree.
was 20-16 with 3 minutes to go. They scored the try at the end.
Yeah, see, in saying that though, I think the Roosters always had the Raiders contained, and it looked like Melbourne always had you guys contained.
Oh, I'm not.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't sitting there thinking, oh, South just need a bit of luck to
No,
go
no.
their way.
No.
I actually thought Melbourne had just well contained.
So do I. But you got to remember who we had off, and also you got to remember that in the second half, Reynolds
Yep.
played.
Yep.
He
Busted.
was
Yeah.
busted.
Yes, he was.
So what's the story with Reynolds at the moment?
It was lower back spasm, and they reckon he's going to play this week.
Okay.
So they're saying
And
that's
unrelated to the fracture he had before.
unrelated, but yeah, it's a concern.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
and apparently by that time we'd used all our reserves, so we couldn't put anyone else on.
Yeah.
Cole Turner went down too, didn't he?
Kyle Turner went off, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to bring up one point. During the game, Nelson
One
Yes.
of the big boys.
Yes.
one of the big
Crush it.
boys, I can't remember who the South player was now, but backed into a tackle, and I'm not kidding you, the 120 kilo giant prop
Yeah.
landed on his head.
Well, he actually picked him up and dropped him.
Yeah, I think that was exactly what a crusher tackle is, and I want to know why there wasn't even a penalty. Oh, there was a penalty. The ref come up and he's gone and gives you guys.
Yeah.
It should have
But-
been.
it
It should have been this. Should have been
Should have been on report.
Yeah,
10 in the bin.
Yep.
yeah, I know.
Yep.
I know.
Like, that's again. I'll say it again. That's where my frustration is.
Well, one protected species playing another protected species. so,
True.
you know.
Yeah.
You got to get a new line. You know,
It's a whole new line. Same spin, but whole
Yeah.
new line.
it's just wrong.
Yeah.
All right.
Either way.
Who wants to do the ladder for me?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, sure, you could do it.
All right.
It won't be me. My team is still in 5th.
Well, thanks for spoiler alert.
I
So,
think everyone knows.
Melbourne
Strategic
Storm
loss.
are still 6 points clear of the mighty Roosters in standing alone in second position on 30
Minor
points.
premiers without doubt.
Yeah.
Raiders and the Rabbitohs on 28 points. The Seagulls in 5th, And the Eels in fifth and sixth on 26 points. 4-point jump then to the Panthers in seventh on 22. The Broncos in eighth on 21. I don't know how, honestly. The Sharks on 20 points in ninth. The West Tigers also on 20 in 10th. The Warriors on 19 points. The Knights on 18. 3 teams on 16. The Cowboys, the Dragons and the Bulldogs. And the lowly Titans on 10 points.
Do teams like Penrith and Brisbane, who have a very, very poor for and against, deserve to play in the semis?
Yeah.
Well, if you end up in 8th position, you do, I guess. You know.
Yeah, look,
There's still a logjam there.
I still personally think there should be a top 5. I think we reward mediocrity with a top 8.
Yeah.
You know, like realistically, the Broncos have won 9, lost 10. Why are they? That that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there still ends up being a 5-point difference between 6th and 8th. You've got a good argument there.
yeah. That's right. I mean, so personally, I would have a top 5.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, I want to just have a very quick conversation about some issues that's going around in the game, particularly today. Latrell Mitchell being racially abused on Twitter, I think it was, or Instagram
Don't
or
know
something.
what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On a social media platform.
On a social media
Yeah.
platform.
By a keyboard warrior.
I know you guys feel strongly
Troll.
about this, so I'm going to open the floor.
Okay. Shall I start? Because
Yep.
I don't like Latrell Mitchell.
Mhm.
I think that he's an angry young man who baits players, and he has a fantastic ability to play football. I don't think there is any need ever to attack someone because of their race or religion. And so, if they want to say, if Latrell Mitchell is playing Manly and the crowd is screaming out, rip his head off, put him in a touch, I don't care. That's what you do.
That's what you do with the football.
Yeah.
But you don't go around, racially attacking him. That is ridiculous.
And I think it's important that the game takes a stand about this.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep. Well, apparently Latrell posted that once he got the text or whatever it was, he posted it out there because he just didn't want it to go unnoticed. And
and I think it's great.
And
that
good
he
on
did
him.
it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
in a sense, that was the right thing to do. Was bring it out in the open.
Yep.
And let the authorities deal with it.
Yep.
In the grand scheme of things, like somebody saying that and the issue with that is that someone saying something like that on social media is just it's ridiculous, and it shouldn't get airplay because it shouldn't be said.
No.
And it's not right, and this person should be punished with the full weight of whatever the NRL can throw at them.
But sometimes, I mean, I don't want to see horrible swearing or explicit sex and stuff in my face to make a point. But at the same time, if you don't see the depth of what some people can fall to, you can't have that indignation that is deserved. And so, the good thing is that people have rallied behind Latrell. Fortunately, Robbo was sending the players away for a couple of days, a bit of a break. I think we've got a long turnaround. So he's gone home to Taree, and that's always his salvation. Is he goes home to Taree, spends a couple of days, and he'll be surrounded by his family, and that's good.
Yeah, I don't understand what drives someone to do it in
I
the
think
first
it's
place.
just a lack of intelligence. Seriously, I think it's just
No,
ignorance
it's-
and a lack of
It's
intelligence.
100%. You're right. It is just total ignorance. It's just stupidity.
I mean, you'll never see it on this show.
No.
No. And there's certainly players we don't like.
Yep.
And I think you've got another example of that coming up. Josh Maguire.
Oh, okay, Josh McGrath. Okay, yes.
Segue. Nice segue
Wow.
there.
Yeah. I was actually going to say to Tom that you also won't have swearing or sex on this show either. So
No.
you can be comfortable. Okay.
Good.
Yes,
That's
yes.
for sure.
That's what we're after, Tom. Your comfort.
Yep.
Josh Maguire. The other night during the game, he put his hand on someone else's face.
Again.
Now, hang on. Before we go and accuse him of too much, he didn't, that you could see, he didn't eye gouge.
Nope.
But there was no need for him to do that in the first place. George Burgess is off for 9 weeks because of it.
Yep.
Because of an eye gouge. Now, Josh Maguire has history.
Yep.
The challenge is, again, he's also being abused on social media for doing something.
Yep.
Oh, and I mean, and we're not talking just abuse here. We're talking death threats and
Yep.
I'll kill your family type. That's
Sure.
I mean, come on, talk about a lack of intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been some players in our game that once they step onto a football field turn into stark raving lunatics and monsters.
And we love a lot of them.
We do. And there's some that and Josh Maguire is one of those.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's like off the field, and I don't know why he chooses to. He's obviously got an enormous talent.
Yeah.
He's as hard as a brick wall,
Mm.
but why he's got that stupidity in his game when there's 47 cameras looking at him, I don't know.
And I think they're making more of this one because of his form, even though there was no evidence he actually eye gouged.
Yeah.
I actually wonder whether he actually put the hand on his face and went, "Oh, I'm not supposed to do that anymore."
Possibly.
Like it's innate in him.
Yeah.
It's in his
Yeah.
DNA to do stupid stuff
but
like that.
again, he should not be
No.
abused on social media.
No, no.
And you know what?
No.
I'd say that if anyone on this show did that, we wouldn't have them on again.
No.
100%.
So and
Yeah.
look, we can disagree and we can argue, but we can be courteous with each other.
know,
So
it's
that doesn't relate to the three of us, of course.
no,
While we don't
I-
racially abuse each
No.
other, we do abuse each other.
yeah. But I was just thinking as we were discussing this, the South's Melbourne game.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? And we all do it. Cameron Smith runs onto the field, and you've got 50% of the crowd, or whoever is not playing, whoever Melbourne is playing, 100% every time he touches the ball, boo and carry on and harass.
Yes.
And it was interesting that it was quite vocal on on the Central Coast, maybe because the stadium is so close.
Yeah.
But the pictures afterwards are all the South supporters wanting to get photos with the bloke.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that right?
But
I think he's a great player.
I know, but you know what? If you were there at the game when he touches the ball, you boo because
Well, no,
I do.
I don't boo anybody, but I think he's a great player.
Yeah,
Look, his record speaks for itself. I don't like his tactics, but his record speaks for itself.
yeah, look,
And I want to bring something up too. Sally put something on Facebook.
yeah.
She apologised to me about Melbourne beating South. But Sally, next one. Just wait for the semis.
Don't worry, you'll beat him again.
We're coming for you.
Feel free to gloat at that
Just like
point.
last year.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my point. It's the same as Wally Lewis playing for Queensland. He came to New South Wales, and honestly, I was at a couple of those state of origins, and Wally really is a banker. Because every time he got the ball, that's what the crowd decided he was.
Really? That's
Oh, yeah.
That's what they were saying, was it?
That's right. Yes. Wally's a banker.
Yeah.
And you know what? He is still in my mind the best player to play.
Okay.
So
I thought you meant the best banker.
the best banker, certainly the best banker to play football.
You're not
Unlike
supposed-
an account.
You're not supposed to misspell swearing either.
All right, round 22.
Yes,
4 weeks to go.
Short turnaround for you guys.
Yes.
that's all right.
Thursday night at Lotto Land.
Yep.
Manly Sea Eagles up against the West Tigers.
Yeah. Can I just say we've made a couple of changes to the team because Brad Parker had the most bizarre injury of all time.
What happened? He walked and fell over.
He went to tap the ball and the cartilage in his knee snapped.
Is that really what happened?
Seriously, he's had surgeries out for 2 to 3 weeks. Oh, come on! Can't you tough it out through a tackle and then try and get a penalty or something?
Honestly, it looked like he was sniping.
That was bizarre.
That truly was.
So Des has brought Brendan Elliott into the team.
Okay.
Our other injury is Curtis Sirinen, who has been playing,
He's
Yeah.
been
I think-
exceptional.
unbelievable football. And
Cherry Evans going to be back?
Cherry's back.
Okay.
Yeah, and so Jack Kaczynski comes into the team.
So the Tigers will obviously be without Mbai, without Farah.
Yep. So Farah and Mbai out, Parker and Sirinen, and those two guys come in.
Okay, so I'm not going to ask you who you're going for because I know who
So
you're going to
what's
say.
this guy's name?
Aden Fanoa Blake. Why?
You just have an ability to butcher the English language.
I know. Jack Kaczynski whiskey. Jack Jajewski, that's the one. Oh,
and
Brian,
that's why
but-
he calls Appy.
happy, yeah. Happy, very happy.
And you look like losing Appy.
Yeah, that's
That's
very
very-
sad.
Yeah, not going to be happy. So you're going to go Seagulls, of course, Tom.
Mm.
Yeah, look, the Seagulls will bounce back. I think the Tigers are playing for their life, but I think
They were playing for their life last week.
I know, and they should have won that one. It'll be tough, but it's at Lowland. You'd have to say the Seagulls. They won't play that bad again.
Yeah, I've gone Seagulls as well. I think I can't.
Oh.
Without Farah, without Empire, I can't see the Tigers getting up.
No hate. Interesting.
There never is hate.
There is hate.
No, you just think there is.
Come
Let's go to Seabus Super Stadium on Friday night where the Gold Coast Titans are playing the Parramatta Eels.
I don't even think a home ground advantage will help the Titans.
Interestingly, the Titans have kept the same squad, same team.
Because they've been successful, so successful the last few weeks.
Because they've got nothing. Sadly.
I think Michael Gordon comes back from whatever injury he had onto the bench,
Yep.
and that's it. That's their only change.
That's it.
Yeah.
No changes for the slimy Eels. I meant for Parramatta.
So the Eels will win by. Give me a score.
Oh,
Oh.
they're away
Give me
from
a
home.
margin.
They're away from home. I think they'll.
The Eels are a bad team away from home, but they'll still win
So
by.
you're going to go for
No.
They'll win by 3 tries.
Oh, I was going to say 2.
18, 12 to 18.
12
Okay,
to 18.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You in agreement with that, Steve?
I think they'll win. I think they'll win comfortably, yeah.
You think they'll win by more than 18?
Yes, I do.
Mm.
I think we could be talking at least 20 to 24.
Ooh. No, I want them to win by 1. No, I want them to lose by 1. No, I'm picking my joke around this week. Want them to win by 1.
Yeah. If Manly lose on the Thursday night,
We still get a home semi.
You'll be on your hands and knees praying that the Eels lose.
All right, continuing on.
Okay, continue on to Suncorp Stadium where the Broncos are playing the Penrith Panthers.
Actually, I just thought about it. If you get finished 6th, you still got a home game. Still got a home semi.
Yeah,
6th.
5th and
5th or
6th.
6th. Yeah, so if
Yeah.
the Eels beat. If you
Yeah,
the Eels
but I don't
beat-
want Des to give us another strategic loss.
Okay, Broncos and Panthers.
I think I've gone the Bronx at home, but it's too hard. Panthers and Broncos, they're too hard to pick because they're both like the Warriors.
And
you just
Maloney
don't
will
know.
be back, which means Cleary
Yeah.
won't be as unfettered, as they say.
Yeah.
Look, I think it's a hard game for Panthers to win at Suncorp, but I think they're playing better than the Broncos.
Yeah,
On
I think the
average.
Broncos are going to take this one.
Hang on, I'm just going to check who I tipped now. I put in my footy tips and I've
Already?
double checked it. Yeah,
And
and I.
I've played my Joker this one too.
Are you?
Ooh, you're playing your Joker as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, see-
you're close enough. You're close enough to make a dance.
Yeah, I've gone Brisbane. I don't know why, but something in my head is saying Brisbane.
He's got to really suck this weekend for you to have a chance.
Oh, I know.
Have a chance.
No.
I'm not going to get anywhere near it, but I'm fine.
No, so I might change that, but at the moment I'm on Brisbane.
We're in Brisbane. Okay. Let's go to McDonald Jones Stadium on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Newcastle Knights in North Queensland.
I don't know why you picked this as your joker round. I reckon there's a couple of really contentious games.
Like
here.
which ones?
But I looked at the other
The
ones and
Knights
they're
and
all
the Cowboys.
contentious.
I think.
I know. That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Knights. The
This
Knights
is
will
the
get
one I
that.
think
Home
will be
ground.
a problem.
Home ground. That's all. That's all.
Well,
Yeah.
I've got North Queensland for this one, but
Yeah, look, I think the Cowboys have been putting in and trying. They were lucky last week.
yeah.
Yeah, but they were woeful.
Oh yeah.
But so were the
But so were the
Broncos.
Knights. And so were the
And
Knights.
so were the Knights.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nah, I'm still going to go the Knights.
I can't believe the match of the round is at 5:30.
It's not.
It is.
Amy Park, 5:30 is Melbourne Storm against the Canberra Raiders.
Yeah. Should be a good test for the Raiders again.
Yeah, I'm going to go Storm.
Yeah, the Storm.
I hate to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't. I posted something on our Facebook page. I think the Raiders have had no wins against the top 6 teams so far this
Yeah,
year.
I saw that. Yeah.
And like I said, I think that their attack is too focused from dummy half. So
And that's what I said to you that when we were talking about the Raiders game. I don't think the Raiders can play any better than what they did the other night.
Yeah.
And I just don't think they're against the top teams.
Yep.
I don't think.
Yeah, I think the Roosters were organised and they knew it was coming and they knew how to nullify it in a lot of cases.
And Melbourne will be the same.
yeah, but the X factor is that back row of the Raiders.
But they're fly by the seat of your pants team, and if it's not working, it's not working.
Yeah.
Yep,
That's
agree.
the
Okay, let's go on to 7:30 game on Saturday night at ANZ Stadium where the Rabbitohs are playing the Bulldogs.
You lose this game, you're in serious trouble.
Yeah,
South lose this game, I'll be very, very disappointed.
this is a hard. You're right. This is a hard round, but they're all hard rounds.
They're all hard.
Last week was a much easier round. No, the week before when I played my Joker.
Yeah, it was. I wish I'd played mine then too.
Well, I got 7 out of 8. Stupid dogs would have given me a perfect.
I've gone the Bunnies on the back of Jaden Sewer and Sam Burgess
Being
in the
bad.
team.
Yeah.
I don't think I think it'll be tight.
Yeah.
But I think that those two big forwards will make a bit of a
You
difference.
start like you did last week, then I think you're.
I don't
No, I think the Dogs. That's okay because the Dogs look warm into games. They don't come out on fire.
They don't ambush you.
They struggle and get an opportunity and struggle.
And not only that, you've got to remember that it is Melbourne. Melbourne have an ability to put on quick points.
Yeah.
You know, and South came back to 12-all, don't forget.
They
So,
did. Yeah.
Okay.
no, look, I'm very disappointed.
Braden Burns is back in the team.
Braden Burns
How does he not be in the starting team?
Well, he was injured.
was injured.
Was he?
You know how many? I think.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, no, he'd always be picked.
You know, like I know that you got the
Throws a good forward pass.
Yeah, he does. Braden Burns is the player I would take from Souths.
Who said you're going to have that choice?
If I had an opportunity as a Manly supporter to
Really?
take a player, I'd take
You
Braden
wouldn't
Burns.
take Reynolds, you wouldn't take
No.
Burgess, you wouldn't take
No.
Cook.
No,
You,
I think that Braden Burns has an X factor about him that is exceptional.
your best friend must be Trent Barrett, right? Because you don't know how to pick a team either.
Where would Cook fit into our team?
Oh, where would he fit in?
Yeah, that's right. You know what? Mancy is going to be the best hooker in the game in 12 months' time.
Yeah, but
Where's
he's not
Cook going to
now.
fit? Where's Cook going to
He's still
fit?
going to be the best hooker in the game.
I don't want Sam Burgess because the guy's a liability.
You have an international reserve grade.
We could be the Roosters.
Let's go on to Sydney Cricket Ground
You
where,
could be so.
Hang on, are you going to go south?
You could be so.
Are you going to go
Yeah, I'm
south?
going
Right.
south. Yeah.
where the Sydney Roosters are playing the Warriors.
Danger game.
This is a danger game.
Absolutely danger game.
No.
Yep. We're playing at home, which is good. But I think if we play with the intensity of defence, and we've got Siwa Takiyaho back, we've got Boyd Cordner back. Not quite Jake Friend yet. The only other concern I've got, and I haven't looked at, is that young Sam Verrills got injured.
Yeah.
He did his knee. He
They
had some
reckon
problem with
he'll
his
be
knee. Hopefully he will be, because when Radley plays at lock, the dynamic of that team is so much different.
So why is Cordner listed in the reserves and not on the interchange or on the team?
He
Is
may
he
be
really?
subject to a fitness test.
Have you noticed that Radley's actually quite high on the missed tackles list?
Oh, it's,
You know?
oh,
He is.
yeah, but that's
He is.
see, like I said,
But the ones he makes,
But he makes pretty good tackles, yeah.
see, that's why I don't like it. So Radley's there, puts on a hit. If he slips off the player as the second rooster comes in, it's a missed tackle.
Right.
But he's effectively stopped the bloke in his tracks.
Yeah.
All right,
Hate
so
these
So I'm going to Roosters.
Roosters, Brian?
Up Roosters, Steve.
He has to take a deep breath to say it, but
He does.
I actually think the Warriors might win this one.
Oh,
I've tipped the Roosters, but I think the Warriors might get it. Anyway, we'll see.
Ooh.
PointsBet Stadium on Sunday evening, Cronulla Sharks against George
local
Dragons.
derby.
yeah. Sharks.
Sharks at home.
Sharks probably by 20.
I don't think they can play that bad again. I think they're playing for their season.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. But then the Dragons have got nothing to lose, so they could throw the ball around.
No.
I just don't think
The Dragons can't throw the ball around. That's the problem.
So what would you do if you're Mary? Would you change around the team and try and get something different going? Hey, we said mathematically you can make it, but it's not likely. So would you
They won't.
try something? Throw Ben Hunt into hooker. Put Cameron McGuinness into...
Cameron McGuinness has been on fire though.
I
He's
know.
been there
What
one
I'm
shining
suggesting is,
light,
would you try something different?
but he hasn't.
No. And even when the team was going well, he hadn't. He wouldn't
Yeah.
change. He wouldn't change the team.
You know,
Wouldn't bring young players in when other ones weren't performing.
like players like Josh Kerr, Reece Robson, like they're really good players.
Yeah.
They're not going to take the field. He just won't make he won't make the change.
Yeah. And nobody can see it over there. I don't know why.
I don't get it. And you have a look at their team and you go, James Graham, Ken McGuinness, Paul Vaughan, Luciano Leilua, Tyson Frizzell, Norman Widdop, Hunt. What? Something's going wrong.
Yeah. All right,
Sharks.
Is that the sun coming up?
Yeah, we've gone long on this show.
It's been
Have
going
we?
a long time.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We're hitting the hour mark. Okay, so we're going to call it quits. So, Brian, anything intelligent to add before we go?
Home semi at Brookie, baby.
No, this is not a semi.
Oh, by the way, did you notice my shirt?
We tried not to.
Yes, just so you know, I purchased at Guy Stuff.
I thought we agreed not to wear 10 colours.
Sorry.
So, where did you buy it?
Guy Stuff in
Guy
Windsor.
Stuff.
Put this behind my head. I'm not wearing anything.
You see, I'm dressed as Johnny Cash, so what can I say?
Well, Johnny, what have you got intelligent to
Johnny
add?
with all the cash, yes.
Yeah, I'll sing for you later.
Please don't.
Anything you want to add?
Please don't.
Okay, I won't. Thank you all for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show. This is NRL from the Sidelines with Tom, Brian and Steve, and we will do it all again next week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya. Alright, I've had enough of the Eagles now. Alright, I've had enough of the Eagles now. Alright, I've had enough of the Eagles now. Alright, I've had enough of the Eagles now.